Hey INFPs, this is Amanda, and I want to take some time on this video and just explore this idea of what INFPs are good at. So I kind of came across this somewhere, and I don't really remember what I was doing, reading something or doing a little research or something, but I came across this question of what are INFPs good at, and I thought, oh, that would be a great thing to do a video on and talk about some of the things that INFPs are good at. So I think there's a couple questions behind the question here, however. Um, so if you're asking the question, what am I good at, right? Presumably this is coming from INFPs, or I guess it's possible it might just be, people who are just kind of interested in personality, but we'll assume that INFPs are asking this question, what am I good at? And I think the question behind that is not just what am I good at, but what do I do that's valuable, right? Like, what am I good at? What skills do I have that are also valuable to others? And of course, the question behind that question is what am I good at that's valuable, and how can I make money from it, right? So I think this is sort of a career money question that's kind of just being asked in a more personality type of way. But it's a good one to talk about because, I mean, INFPs have lots of positive qualities, and you'll see those written about and discussed in a lot of different spaces. And we can name some of them right now, right? Like INFPs are kind, and we're creative, and we're very empathic, have a lot of compassion, um, sort of easygoing, at least on the surface. I mean, so we have these positive qualities, but when people sort of want to get a handle on what it is that they do well and what can they do with that, I think it's time to take a little closer look at a few things that INFPs do that are really valuable. So, the very first of these things, and I have three, is listening. This is far and away probably our very top skill. And what's nice about this is we really enjoy it. I mean, actually, like I would say we enjoy all of the skills that I'm going to talk about in this video, but listening really appeals to our curiosity. So when we're like out in the world and we're in front of other people, we go into our intuition because our intuition, we direct it in an extroverted way, right? We direct it out into the world. So, like when you're in front of another person, it's very easy for INFPs to sit there and listen to them because mostly we're enjoying ourselves. And of course, I mean, I've been here, and you've probably been there too, where you've gotten stuck with someone and you're listening to them. But that's more of a case of needing to practice your boundaries. Listening in general is a fairly enjoyable activity for us, and we get very curious about someone, and we can ask them good questions, and like we're very attentive to them. The thing is that it's because it's like it's easy for us, and of course people love to be listened to. Right? Like, I probably don't have to tell you that. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. Um, Most people in the world love to be listened to, and probably a majority of those people feel that they're not listened to enough. So, this is absolutely something that INFPs are very good at, that is very valuable to others. And, like in terms of careers or jobs, you could be in a career or want to be in a career where listening is a very direct skill that you're going to use, like in the case of being a counselor, being a therapist, being in the helping professions like that. But it can also be an indirect skill that you use. You could be in any type of a field. You could be in any type of an office or environment, and your listening skills are going to make you a valuable asset to whatever team you are on. People may not even realize how much value they assign to you, but they do know that you're a great person to talk to when they need someone to listen, or that they just feel good around you, right? So that's the first thing. The absolute first thing that INFPs are good at is listening. Now, the second one is related to this. So, the second one that I would say is being able to read people. This goes back to our extroverted intuition. We are able to pick up really well on what's going on with other people. And again, we're also very curious about other people. So this is another thing that we really enjoy doing. It does also, it lends itself to being more of an observer, which we certainly are as introverts, right? We tend to be a little bit, we sit back a little bit, and we like to watch other people, watch the action, see what's going on. It's just that we're really, really good at picking up on things about people. And when you're good at reading people, what you have is information about what it is that they want and need. So let's go back to the example of you working. You're working in an office or something. You're not in a helping profession where you're like directly listening to people all day long as part of your job. But like you start to understand something your supervisor really likes for you to do. They may never have directly said this, but like you're able to kind of, and it might be very personal to them. Like it might not even be like a job requirement, but you kind of have an idea of what you need to do. It's going to make your supervisor really happy, which of course then makes your life a lot easier, right? Being able to read people, it just gives you a lot of information that's not directly on the surface that you can use to direct your actions and your speech. And of course, this could get manipulative, right? Now, INFPs, being quite ethical and having a strong sense of what's right, we're going to have a tendency not to use our power for good rather than evil. But, I'm talking about it in a very neutral sense. Like you're just able to perceive things about people, and then you can really use that, like I said, to direct your own actions. Another example of this could be if you are a creator of some sort. Let's say you're a writer. You may be able to pick up on ideas for your writing by observing a group of people, maybe online. You know what I mean? Like you can pick out things that group needs or wants, and then you can direct your writing at them. Same holds true for any kind of a creator. So those are just a couple of like general examples. But number 2 is definitely reading people. And that brings me to the last one. So the last one I have is problem solving, and particularly kind of unconventional problem solving. So, along with the being able to like read people or even read a situation, we are pretty good at acting and coming up with stuff on the fly. That extroverted intuition that I was talking about. One thing this does for us is it allows us to generate possibilities very easily. And we can also generate like very creative possibilities. So we can approach a problem and really see it in a way that others don't, that gives us insight into how to tackle it. And we can really come up with some things that will work, but no one would have thought they would have worked. And we can do this fairly quickly. Like we have a sort of nimbleness when it comes to being creative and coming up with ideas. I think a lot of times, like we certainly think of INFPs as being creative. I think we tend to think of that more in an artistic sense, more in a, kind of like expressing things, expressing ourselves. And that's certainly true. But it can really be put to good use in just creative problem solving. And like I said, like you don't need to be real planned out necessarily. You know, especially like if you're back at work, you know, let's say there's some sort of issue and it arose suddenly and no one's quite sure what to do. Well, you know, you might be able to tackle that in a way and kind of get it done um, in a way that would have been very difficult for someone else who needs to be real planned out to come up with something. There's, of course, nothing wrong with that, but if you have to act quickly or you need an unconventional solution, what we're able to do oftentimes goes better in those situations. So certainly a valuable skill right there. And again, that is sort of based on your perception, based on your intuition, based on being able to come up with possibilities. So those are my three things that INFPs are really good at and that are also valuable. Like I said, they may be valuable more in an indirect way. I mean, any of those things could be used probably in any job or career. You know, so if you're, you know, if you're maybe like at a job that doesn't totally suit you personally, you know, like in terms of like the content of what you're doing, you know, you can still really add an authentic contribution to your team or to your workplace, you know, based on your unique skills. So yeah, I think that's something to keep in mind. But yes, INFPs are definitely good at stuff that is valuable. And yeah, and we can apply those things to help other people and to get stuff done. So if you enjoyed this video, take a look at the link. I'll have a link below. I have a newsletter for INFPs, and it's called For INFPs, and it's resources, news, and tips basically. So mostly once a week. Sometimes it'll be a little bit more frequent, like if I have a course or a workshop or a book or something. But yeah, I'll send out an email, pretty short, and just give a tip or some sort of resource that's helpful to INFPs. It's free. Yeah, you can sign up below. And also too, you'll also, I have a free productivity for INFPs mini course. That's like the welcome gift for joining. So you'll get that as well. But I just wanted to draw your attention to that. And thank you for watching this video on what INFPs are good at. Guys, I will see you in the next.